Yo, traders, how are we? Welcome to the live stream. Hope you're all having a wonderful day and having a good trading week as well. We are going to do the following on today's live stream. We are going to do some in-depth market analysis. Okay, I had to do that with my hands. That means in-depth. We are also going to look at a trade that I took. I've had one successful trade today, and we're going to look at that in detail to understand why and how I took it. What else are we going to do? We've also got some news coming out, right? So at 1:30, we've got some big US data. So we've got PPI and some employment data as well, guys. So this could move the US dollar pairs. So we're going to take a look at this at 1:30. And we will actually play Guess the News Game. Come on down. We'll play Guess the News Game. It's not that exciting, but basically we will guess what the news was on how the US dollar pairs move. And of course, guys, we will take all of your questions as usual. All right, so don't be shy. Come say hello, say, Tom, love your tan from the holiday, something like that, and then leave a question. You don't have to be complimentary. I'm only joking. So that's the plan, guys. So let's start with the trade that I took today, right? Actually, let me just say a few highs to everyone. So afternoon, Brett. Hi, James. Okay, so James made some nice profit on euro US dollar. PJ, hi PJ. I will look at euro Swiss franc. Parandeep, what about pound Canadian dollar? Okay, we'll have a look at that. And Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch has got a couple of New Zealand dollar trades to look at as well. Okay, New Zealand Swiss franc or New Zealand CAD or a face full of sand. Okay, let's analyze them. I don't want any sand in my face. Right, but let's start with Euro Swiss franc. PJ, this one is for you. And also for today, we're going to look at pound yen. So Euro Swiss franc, right? Let's start with the day chart. As you know, this is where I generally decide the direction of the chart, right? And it's an uptrend. Okay, so it was in this kind of scruffy really, right? But I would say, that proved to be quite an important level and we broke it, right? So we was in an uptrend and we had this bullish candle as well. So we're in an uptrend. We've got a nice bullish candle, right? We've broken that high. And I would suggest we still have a bit of room to move into back up to this high, right? And that is bang at the 0.9450 level, right? Just before it, okay? So there was enough room to move into, all right? So that's why I was looking for a buy. Excuse me, I have had too many milk chocolate hobnobs. And before that, what did I have? I had scrambled egg on sourdough toast. I bloody love sourdough toast. I know you're not that interested in what I have to eat, but I feel as if I should share it. Got to keep your fuel for trading, right? So anyway, there's the day chart. That's why I was looking for buys. Okay. Now, if we drop down to the H4, I actually took the trade before this candle formed. Right? So why did I take the trade without any confirmation candle? Because it wasn't even a confirmation candle on the H1 before I took this trade. I mean, you had this, but then that's what formed the H4 candle. I just started buying down here. Stops below here with a view to taking, getting 1:1, right? And then letting some profits run. So why did I enter? When I entered, basically, the market looked like that, right? Not very bullish. And if you look at the H4, okay, that hadn't formed, right? So when I entered the market, it looked, what has happened to my Back to the Future button? Right, it looked like that. Okay, now the thinking behind it is this, guys, right? So if I start entering down here, right, before this candle even forms, right, you could do one of two things, right? So I started buying in here, right, and put my stop loss here, right? Why did I put my stop loss there? Because this is the last swing low, right? So this trade just offered such good value, right? Now, when I really like the day chart, right? And I particularly liked the H4 because it was bouncing off of the moving average 20. Okay. All right. And so I started to enter. I didn't wait for a candle. Now, after I entered, the candle ended up looking like this, right? So I'm thinking, happy days, Tom, you're a genius, wonderful trading, right? Jokes aside, you know, I want to see a reaction. Okay. Now imagine you didn't get a reaction, right? Let's say the candle, let's close this. Let's say the candle just ended up looking like that and very bearish, right? Then it doesn't matter anyway, because you've basically started buying in here anyway. So even if it was very bearish, you could just say to yourself, look, I will close the trade at roughly break even, right? I didn't get the reaction I wanted. Or I would say to myself, let's see what the next H1 candles do, right? So that's why I'm confident in taking it from a level there and not waiting for a reaction. Okay, but as it happens, we got a nice reaction and prices shot up and hit target, right? If we go back to real time, yeah, we're nicely profitable. So yeah, so I hope that clears up Euro Swiss franc. But yeah, it's just the fact when I see price come down to this moving average 20, it's such a nice area of value, right? And chances are, even if the trade, even if this chart wanted to go down, chances are it's not going to do that, right? Chances are it will do this, right? Even if it did want to cut, it'll come up, you know, to maybe a 50% fib level, something like that. Yeah, let's just map out a fib, right? Maybe it'd come up to the 50% fib here, and then it would start turning round, right? So even then, by entering at the level, you've still got a chance to take a bit of profit anyway, yeah, in case this did start coming down. But generally speaking, guys, if you're getting in, let me remove this as well. If you're getting in around the moving average 20, just here as well, right? Around the moving average 20 with trend, chances are you've got a good trade, right? So this one I like as well, right? So let's say we saw this, we're in an uptrend, and we saw it retrace so deep, right, that we just got in, right? You could just start buying in here, right? Because this is the last low, right? And if it doesn't react, get out. But it does kind of react, you wouldn't get out of this trade, right? There was nothing telling you to get out, and then, it eventually makes its way up. Excuse me, guys, got a proper frog in my throat. But this was really clean, right? It was literally at the moving average 20. So there you go, PJ. I hope that answers all of the questions you were asking. You don't answer questions, you do asking. Anyway, guys, so let me just show you this. Let me just show you. So in the VIP Discord, guys, this is where you can ask me all of your questions. Thoughts on pound yen. So I'm going to do that today. So this was PJ from earlier, interested in the Euro Swiss franc trade, and pretty much everything you said, PJ, was bang on, right? And then I answer your questions in here. And then here, guys, is where I give you my trade. So this was the Euro Swiss franc. It hit our first TP, and we're letting 20% run. All right. And if you want to ask me questions and you want all of my trades, entries, stop losses, take profits, plus much, much more strategies, tutorials, then please come join our VIP Discord. And there was another question. So Tane, this one is for you. You wanted to know about pound, thoughts on pound yen sells. Okay. So that's what we're going to look at next, guys. And this Euro Swiss franc, guys, I've still got 20% running. All right. Pound yen. Tane, this one is for you on sells. Okay. So I get sells. Right. Now, if we look at the day chart, right, well, let's do it in an order so that you can start approaching the markets like this as well. Right. Now, you need to look at trend and structure, right? And this is in an uptrend, right? We're getting higher lows, but these highs are not forming higher highs, but we're still getting these higher lows. So we are in an uptrend, but, right, I do not want to be buying into here. So Tane's question was basically, can we sell from this level? And the answer is yes, right? But there's a couple of things I would want to see. Now, these candles, right, are not exactly saying sell, 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 right? They're not, right? If anything, they're a doji. Okay, so first and foremost, if I am going to go against trend like this one, I would want to see a candle like this, right? And what I'd also like to see is a bit of room before it hits the moving average 20, right? Whereas here, we don't have a bearish candle at all, right? And even if we did, let's say we ended up getting a nice big bearish candle like this, we're literally at the moving average 20, right? This is another one. It's bounced off this resistance level, but it's got room to move into, even aim for this last high here. This had a bit of room, right? This perhaps doesn't, right? So that's what I want to see at the very least, a nice big bearish daily candle to trade against trend at a resistance level, which is what this is. And then I drop down to the H4, right? And I will want to see H4 in a downtrend, which it is, right? If we just follow trend, okay, this is in a downtrend. We're getting lower highs, lower lows, right? And this low here is holding, okay? Now, obviously, because we're at this support level here, there's no sell there. I'm not going to sell into a support level that moved a large amount of pips, right? So I'm not going to sell this. Would I be interested if price perhaps come back up into here, maybe the moving average 20, and I got a bearish candle? Still no, because I want to see that bearish daily candle first. And in order to get that bearish daily candle, you would probably get a break of that level anyway. Let's imagine the next candle is like this. We get a nice big bearish break. Candle looks like that. If it looks like that, report it to your broker. Say your candles are weird. And, you know, if we got that break, you can imagine what the daily candle would look like, right? It would look like this, right? Then I'd be more interested. Retrace, try and take it lower. All right, Tane. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question from before. Guys, like I said, we've got loads more questions. We're going to get through all of these questions, or as many as we can. Before I do, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. Also, guys, please come join our trading community. You can talk to like-minded traders. We've got a few nutters in there. You can talk to them, and you can talk about whatever you like. right? Also, you can share trading knowledge, ideas, trade ideas. So please come join our trading community, right? Why the hell not? It is free, right? And all you need to do is click on the QR code on the screen. It is that simple. And if you join for free, we will also give you 50% off our complete Forex trading course. So if you want to learn to read the charts like I do, using price action, learn how to manage trades, learn how to hedge positions, learn how to, we have a news strategy as well, plus much, much more, guys, come check out the course as well. Yeah, so check it all out. What else do I need to mention? That's it. If I don't mention everything, the editor, as soon as this finishes, he comes around my house and beats me if I don't remember everything. Thank you. It's no laugh. I'll be crying after this. Right. So what questions we got? So James made some nice profit on Euro US dollar. Nice work. Parandeep, hey, what's up, Tom? I'm in pound Canadian dollar sales. Okay, so let's have a little look at pound Canadian dollar sales. So this is the day chart, right? And also what I like about pound sales is just, or pound weakness, is just look at all this pound news earlier, right? That, for the want of a better word, is horse shit in terms of growth, right? That GDP is very, very bad, right? The economy is shrinking. It's negative followed by more negative, right? And all of these figures aren't great either, right? All of this. So it's just one big news negativity bonanza for the pound, right? So pound should be weak, right? And we are starting to see that. Now, pound Canadian dollar sales, I do like the look of, right? Let me just drag that resistance level across because, again, let's follow structure. We are in a downtrend, right? Fact, lower highs, right? Lower lows, right? We are in a downtrend. And what I really like is this moving average 20 coming around. And you can see prices bounced off of that level and this grey resistance level as well. So Parandeep, I'm really liking pound Canadian dollar sales so far. If we drop to the H4, this is the problem I have with this trade, because I was looking at pound Canadian dollar sales, right? I was going to wait for pound news to come out, but this just flew off, right? I couldn't get in on it, right? But I was considering pound Canadian dollar sales off of this candle, but wanted to wait for the news. And then when the news come out, it just sped off, right? But, you know, first and foremost, is H4 trend clear, right? So if we look at it like this, then yes, it is clear, right? We're in lower lows and these highs haven't broken. And I would argue that's the only way to look at that market right now. It is in a downtrend, right? The only thing that puts any doubt in my mind is, is potentially this last little high here, right? Okay, but that aside, look at the bullish reaction we're getting off the moving average 20 and this last support level. So I really like the day chart, but the H4 is just not telling me to sell it, right? There's a bit too many things going on. We are in a downtrend, but we've got this high here. We've got a big bullish, that is a bullish wick off that candle. So I don't want to sell it myself. But if you just looked at the daily, and I suggest anyone does this, guys, right? If you're really in the weeds and looking at the H1 all day, right, and it's all getting a bit confusing, then just come out and look at the day chart. Because the day chart there's normally just wonderful clarity. There's more clarity than a, diamond from what they call De Beers. Anyway, apologies for my analogies. They will get worse as the live stream goes on, right? But if we just, like I say, if you just come away, come up a time frame, come to the day chart, that is a sell all day, right? But H4 I'm not feeling. All right, so Paradeep, hope that helps. News in 10, thank you, Brett. Yes, I am a little bit, don't follow the news that well, unless I'm in a trade, right, which has the US dollar in it. Right, Marky Mark, New Zealand Swiss franc or New Zealand CAD or a face full of sand. I'm going to give you one of them, Marky Mark, right? We're going to do New Zealand Swiss franc because we've got more people, guys, and we've got more questions to get through. So let's have a look at New Zealand Swiss franc. Now, right, this is a question for everyone, right? Let's get involved. Looking at this chart, right, I want everyone to give me their opinion. Is this, right, so in the live chat, guys, I'm going to ask this question, so please leave your answer in the live chat. There are no wrong or right answers. There are, and I will pinpoint you. I will pinpoint you if you're wrong. No, I won't really. But what is, I'll shut up and get on with the question. What is the trend? I don't know why I'm clapping at the same time, but what is the trend of this market? Right, looking at the day chart only, what is the trend? So everyone in the live chat, please start leaving me your answers. Right. Uptrend, ranging, up. Dre Bliss, I like your name. Tom Bliss, it's got a bit of a ring to it. Uptrend, PJ, uptrend, Aussie Trev, God, get my teeth in. Uptrend. All right, so HD, where have you been? Haven't seen your name for a while. Hope you're well. Uptrend. Poo Poppy, downtrend. Very controversial. Mike Doricott, uptrend. All right, guys. So, yeah, so I'm glad the majority have said an uptrend, right? Because I would agree, right? Now, this is not, again, guys, when I talk about price action, it's not what I think, right? You know, a lot of traders are like, I think the pound interest rate will decrease next time, so I'm bearish pound, right? That's what you think, right? Price action is fact, and if the facts aren't clear, stay away, right? So let me show you the facts, right? They're not in any doubt. So this was in an uptrend. Came back here. This proved to be a level of resistance, right, through here. But then we eventually broke it with exactly this candle here, right? So we are in an uptrend for that reason. We have higher highs. And you can also see we're getting higher lows. So we are in an uptrend, right? Which makes me want to buy this market. And candles, obviously, again, fact. None of these candles are telling me to buy it, right? Super duper bearish. We will see what this candle does, right? However, if we look on the H4, right, we're clearly in a downtrend. Actually, let me go back to the daily chart, right? Because I just want to put this level in, because these are the last lows on the day chart. And if you think it's similar to my Euro Swiss franc trade earlier on, right? So even if you just trade, at this level, you're going to get a bounce off of it, right? I know that's quite a bold statement, but the last daily low or high, you're going to get a reaction. How severe that reaction is, we don't know, right? Will it be like this? Will it be like that and then it folds? We don't know, right? But we do know that you're going to get a reaction from down here. And with that in mind, right, look at the H4. I know we're in a bearish, we're in a downtrend, right? We're clearly in a downtrend, right? There's no two ways about it. But things are very oversold, right? They are. If I brought up the RSI indicator, it would say, Tom, this is very oversold, right? It wouldn't actually say that. You could probably get an indicator to say it and put your name in, say, Tom, this is oversold. Anyway, not important. We don't need that indicator, right? But we're at a daily support level. And just look at the candle. Look at these wicks closing back in one another, right? So this would suggest, right, if you wanted to, you could do an against trend trade, perhaps aim for this level here, right? And like I look for on the daily chart, I look for a daily level and then H4 structure break. In this example, you could use the H4 chart and use a lower time frame structure break. Let's look at the H1, right? You would be waiting a long time for H1 structure to break, right? It would need to break. That's the last high currently. Will it become this one, right? So you could wait for a structure break. Let's take a look at the 30-minute out of pure interest, right? Let's have nothing happening there. Let's have a look at the 15-minute. So if on the 15-minute, this is the last high, right? Maybe if you've got a break through here, right, you could start buying, put your stop loss below here, right, and look to take price up. Now, this is not really how I trade, right? I'm looking at slightly higher time frames, but the premise is the same. It's price action, right? If I generally trade daily trend with H4 or H1, right? And that will generally get me about one trade a day because I look at 28 currency pairs, right? Whereas imagine if you used H4 for direction and 15-minute chart for entries. You're going to get a lot more setups using exactly the same price action, but I would suggest a little bit less reliable, the setups, right? And that's trading, right? You can trade different time frames. Right, I have been told we have got news in 1 minute. Very exciting. Thank you, editor. We are like Morecambe and Wise, the two Ronnies, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. Check out Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. Them two are hilarious. And I'm showing my age a little bit. Right, we're going to look at a New Zealand. We're going to look at a US dollar pair. Right, so let's look at any US dollar pair, and we're just going to play guess the news game. So depending on how this reacts, we will guess what the news has done. Let me just have a quick look at some other questions. Okay, so we've got some more questions, guys. All right, we'll get through them. Don't you worry. All right, let's have a look at the news. I have to amuse myself, guys, sometimes. All right, so we're seeing US dollar weakness really there. Let's have a look at pound US dollar. Yeah, we're seeing US dollar weakness. Let's have a look at euro US dollar. We're seeing US dollar weakness. Let's have a look at Aussie dollar US dollar. We are seeing US dollar weakness. So Sherlock Holmes, that's what they call me around these parts, is going to say that the news was worse than expected. I know, Genius. You can. No, all worse than expected. Just call me Sherlock Holmes from now on. So obviously we're seeing some weakness in the US dollar. But again, guys, right, just because this is all weak and worse than expected, this doesn't mean that the US dollar will automatically become weak, right? There's bigger things happening, right? So when you see this, don't think, oh, quickly, start buying US dollar weakness or whatever, right? Start selling US dollar. Don't think like that, right? What you need to do is let the dust settle and see if you have a setup after the news, right? Now, if anything, for example, like we've been speaking a lot about against trend strategies, right? Setups, really. And Aussie dollar, US dollar is another one, right? Price keeps coming up to here and not breaking this level, right? We are in an uptrend, right? But look at this candle. So this kind of fits the criteria of big bearish daily candle at a resistance level, right? Have we got room to move into? Yeah, a little bit down to the moving average 20, right? H4. The problem with this H4 is it breaking down? And the answer is no, because of all these crazy big wicks in here. It never actually breaks that wick. All these wicks close back into that wick, right? So it's not a clean structure break by any means, right? It's not a structure break on the H4. On the H1, right, it was coming down nicely, right? You can see H1 was coming down, right? But even now, H1 is in an uptrend. So it's not really setting up for a sell trade. Right, we'll see what this H4 candle does. You know, if I got a nice big bearish wick rejection here, something like this, which is probably unlikely off the back of that US dollar news, right? But if I did, I would consider selling Aussie dollar, US dollar, right? It was actually one of my B trades, right? PJ, you hit the nail on the head. Euro Swiss franc was one of my B trades. Again, guys, please come join the free Discord and specifically the VIP. Aussie dollar, US dollar was also a B trade. So was Swiss franc yen sells and euro yen buys. Right, so yes, news has come out. Let's take a look at a few more questions. Dank from Nigeria, how are you, Dank? Tony Gold, how are you, mate? Tony call gold longs. Okay, nice. Yeah, if you caught some longs earlier on, nice trade. I liked this trade as well, but I ended up getting in euro Swiss franc. But look at that. This is a textbook reason why, okay, I've got to be careful how I phrase this, but this is a perfect example of when you don't wait for a bullish candle, right? So with gold, right, if we look at the day chart, we're in an uptrend and we had a nice bullish candle, right? If you go down to the H4, right, we're in an uptrend. And look how far it retraced, just kept retracing all the way to the moving average 20, right? And if you just get in there, right, stops below here, and then see how it reacts, right? If it carries on being negative, you can just get out for a small loss. But if it does ping off like that, you're like, I'm a genius, right? Now, again, when I buy levels and when I wait for an actual bullish or bearish candle, it depends on how deep the retrace is, how much I like the daily chart and how bullish the daily candle is. Yeah, there's a few elements to it. Aussie dollar CAD, I like this for sells, and I like this level. So this last low here, right, my alarm's gone off because I like this trade. right? And again, guys, yeah, if you want all of my trade ideas, let me just show you this. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, oh, I can never find anything in my own Discord. Here we go. Right, so you will see that Aussie dollar CAD was a sell trade for me today. And this is why my alarm has gone off. And again, please come join the free Discord. You get my trade ideas. So let's see, right? It's reached this level. We got this moving average 20 coming round. You know, somewhere in here, there's a nice trade waiting for me, right? We're in a H4 downtrend because we was, let's get the other lines out of the way. We're in a H4 downtrend, right? Nice retrace into value, look to sell it, right? So that's the entry on the H4. And if you look at the daily, guys, this is in a downtrend because that is the last significant high, really, right? And that hasn't broken. We've got bearish candle, bearish candle. I think we can make our way back down to these lows. I would aim for this 0.8850 level. Just check that hasn't hit it. No, we've still got room to move into. So yeah, I really like Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar sells right now. I just need to wait. And so here's another reason why I wouldn't buy this level. Because really, if I want to buy this level, I've got to put my stop up here. Right? If price pushed all the way to the moving average 20, I would be tempted in selling there without a bearish candle because I'm still going to put my stop here, right? You've got all this room to move into, and that's just back down to the H4 lows, right? I might even do a tutorial on this, guys. So if someone please reminds me, I'll do a tutorial on this in the VIP Discord. Yeah, someone please remind me, and then I'll do it for next week. Right, what else are we looking at? Aussie dollar CAD alarm went off. Right, let's see who else we have in the house. Poo Poppy, thanks, Tom. Now I'm hungry. You are welcome, Poo Poppy. That was the milk chocolate hobnobs that has made you hungry. I understand your plight. Niraj, how are you? Okay. Daniel, hi everybody. Hope everyone's good. PJ, you're welcome. Mike Darricott wants to look at Canadian dollar yen sells, please. Okay, let's have a look at CAD yen sells then for Mike. Now, okay. All right. Now it's looking potentially, right? Let me put this level in. As soon as you see a chart, guys, you should see a level like that. As soon as I saw that chart, the level wasn't in, I saw it. And if you just keep practicing price action and, you know, it will just come to you like that. I mean, that is such a crystal clear level for me, right? Now, what's going to be really interesting here is, will this H4 candle break that level, right? I'm doing like a top up approach this week. I'm doing everything back to front. And then we'll look at the daily in a minute. But normally I look at the daily and then enter on the H4, right? But, you know, will this H4 candle break this level? If it does, right, we have had a H4 structure break, right? So that says we're looking for sells, okay, if this candle stays like that. If it wicks back up, right, and we end up getting a candle that looks something like that, maybe a doji that wicks back up, not interested in selling it whatsoever. If anything, I'll be looking to buy it, right? Now, even if this candle does come down and we get a nice big bearish candle, right, I still don't want to sell it because there's no value, right? I mean, really, you know, I know we can look at tighter stop losses potentially on the H1. But if you started selling this breakout, where are you going to put your stop loss? I would want to go at least above the moving average 20. And really, you should go above the last high, which is up here. And all of a sudden, you have a stop loss the size of Hulk Hogan's chest, right? You want a stop loss the size of the editor's chest. Little dig there. He goes down the gym and he's in good shape, so he's all right. So yeah, that is just no value there. Now, if we did get a break like this, right, all I'm looking for is a retrace towards the moving average 20, potentially this level. Let's say price comes down a little bit further, moving average 20 starts coming round, price retraces into here somewhere, right? Then we've got a trade on our hands, right? Having said that, even then you're gonna need to put your stop loss above here, or at least the moving average 20, right? And it's looking like it's not. I will have. It's not a very smart thing to say on a trading thing, but I'll looking at other yen pairs like Aussie dollar yen being so oversold, right, and looking at New Zealand yen, right, being oversold and fighting its way back up, I'm going to suggest Canadian dollar yen will hold on to this level. This H4 candle will wick up enough to hold on to it. So keep an eye out for that, guys, and say, Tom, you were totally right next week, or say, Tom, you were totally wrong. But either way, guys, right? I don't trade like that. I'm gonna wait for the candle to finish and let it tell me what it's doing, right? So yeah, that is Canadian dollar yen. But looking at the day chart, it's one of those, right? We're in a daily uptrend, but we've reached a key resistance level. I need to see a nice big bearish candle. If this candle finishes like this, that is bearish enough, right? It's got a bit of room to move into back to the moving average 20, right? And then let's say today's candle finishes like this, you could potentially trade against trend, right? But this H4 would need to break. I would want to see a nice retrace, and then I'll start getting in from there. All right, so that is CAD yen. I hope that helps, Mike. Right, well, we've got time for one more. Daniel Menchie, I'm sorry, we did look at pound yen earlier on. Pound yen going up. Okay. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of, the yen pairs are a little bit oversold, right? And the yen is at support. Right, let's do US dollar against the South African rand. Right, I like a fresh chart. I am going to do the quickest top-down approach you've ever seen. Right, weekly chart. Put in some levels. Okay, we have got some previous levels there. Right, that's the only level I'm interested in on the weekly. Right, let's go down, and it's in a downtrend. Right, bang, lower lows. I'm looking for sells. Let's go to the day chart. Bit of a level there. Right, so don't really want to sell into that. Next level, let's move one of these old ones, is really here. So looking for sales, but you can see here we had this, this is quite a reasonable level. Look how it reacted. Looking for sales, but I don't want to sell into support. No trade. There you go. There's my top-down approach. Right, guys, thank you very much for your time today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and smash that like button. Please don't forget to come join our trading community. Please come join our free Discord. And if you do, we'll give you 50% off our course right now. Just use the QR code on the screen. Yeah, and have a good rest of your trading week, and I'll see you soon, guys. Adios, amigos.